As I said, a trial has already, a confirmation of charges has already started of Ali Khoshaib at The Hague. Just last week, we finished the confirmation of charges. And these charges were against both himself, same crimes, himself and Ahmed Haroun. They were charged together. So the ideal situation is that they are tried together. This is why.
السبب بالنسبة لبدايتنا بأحمد هارون ليست هي خلفيته العسكرية. كما ذكرت لك فإن محكمة إقرار التهم بالنسبة لعلي كوشيك ابتدأت في الأسبوع الماضي وانتهت في الأسبوع الماضي، وأحمد هارون هو منسوبة إليه نفس التهم المنسوبة إلى علي كوشيك، فوضعهما متماثل. والوضع المثالي أن يحاكم الرجلان مع بعضهما البعض.
If this is not done, especially it's not done in time, it would mean that we have to continue with the trial of Ali Khoshaib. And of course there is a possibility that maybe later on, when it's too late, we get Ahmed Haroun is transferred. That means another trial starts again. Perhaps we will, we will use the same witnesses, we will use the same evidence, and this is just duplicating things and it's not efficient.
إذا لم يتحقق هذا الأمر في الوقت المناسب فإننا سنمضي قدما في محاكمة أحمد هارون ثم محاكمة علي كوشيك، وبالتالي أحمد هارون سيحاكم فيما بعد، وسندخل في نفس الإجراءات مرة أخرى من الاستدعاء للشهود وجمع الدلائل، وهذا الأمر فيه تأخير بالنسبة للعدالة.
But especially for the victims and witnesses, really, because they will come in the first trial and give evidence. And then, if there is a second trial, they will come again and give the same evidence. This we can avoid it, and it can end up traumatizing, even giving them more trauma than they had. So that's why it's better to have the trial, the two persons charged, to be tried together.
الوضع الأفضل أن نحاكم الرجلان في محاكمة واحدة، لأن هذا إن لم يحاكما في محاكمة واحدة فهذا يعني استدعاء للشهود وللضحايا مرتين، وهذا الأمر من شأنه أن يعرض الضحايا والشهود لنفس الصدمات النفسية مرتين.
I also mentioned the fact that the evidence can always be improved, and I explained the circumstances in which we had to investigate without being here. We have investigated outside, but now we have the opportunity to have even better evidence because we are on the ground. And that's why I said my investigators are coming, and I would want that the cooperation that is extended to us to continue. Because again, the referral of the Darfur situation has no end date, and you cannot rule out that there may be other cases that will be started by the ICC. It all depends on how it unfolds.
بالنسبة للدلائل والمحققين الذين سيأتون إلى هنا، أنا كما قلت لك فإن الدلائل المنجوعة على أرض الواقع هي الأفضل، وهي بمثابة تحسين للدلائل التي جمعت من قبل، ولهذا السبب فأنا سنرسل المحققين ونطلب من الضحايا ومن كل المعنيين بالأمر أن يستمروا في تقديم التعاون، يتعاونوا مع المحققين.
More guys, maybe?
I think you should give somebody else to ask.
وأيضا لا نستبعد أن تضاف أن تكون هناك جرائم أخرى يمكن أن نحكم عليها.
حسب بالعربي برضه. طيب ذكرتم في حديثكم انه هنالك اصرار من المتضررين في دارفور على ان تصر المحكمة الجنائية الدولية على تسليم المطلوبين، وايضا انتم يعني ستصرون على المسؤولين في السودان على تسليمهم. هل هنالك اي جهات تتناقض او معترضة او لها اي تحفظات على هذا التسليم، يعني بناء على هذا الكلام والاصرار المطلوب منكم؟
You mentioned that there is an insistence on the part of the victims to arrest and transfer those suspects. But my question is that, is there any party or organization that are objecting to the transfer of these suspects?
Well, as you know, the responsibility to arrest and transfer is the government. It's their primary responsibility to do that. And this is why, if you see I'm talking to the relevant parties, the relevant people who are in government, is because to encourage that transfer takes place. So, and so far, as I have explained, I've not had any authority or to say, no, we are not going to do that. We are not. On the other hand, they have engaged with me. Some of them, the words are quite encouraging about the transfer, but it is a matter that has to also involve more discussions, and this is taking place.
المسؤولية الأولى بالنسبة للاعتقال والتسليم تقع على عاتق الحكومة، وتحدثنا مع الحكومة وشجعناهم على هذا الأمر، على التسليم. وفي خلال محادثاتي مع الحكومة لم ألمس أي اعتراض من أي شخص، بل أن هنالك من هو متحمس للتسليم.
السؤال الثاني، ماذا عن برنامج حماية الشهود؟ في اللقاء الأول تحدثتم عن أنه سيكون هنالك تنسيق لضمان حماية الشهود الذين سيكون مشاهدتهم في هذا الصدد، فهل هنالك أي خطوة جديدة؟ وماذا عن عمر البشير المسؤول الأول عن هذه الجرائم التي حدثت في دارفور؟
The second question is in regard to witness protection. In your first visit, you mentioned that you would provide protection to the witnesses. Another question relates to Umar al-Bashir. What about Umar al-Bashir?
First, about the witnesses, ICC, Office of the Prosecutor, the Registry, the judges, we all have an obligation under the statute to ensure that witnesses are protected, especially when they interact with us. So this also has to be clear. When they interact with us in the sense that they give us evidence confidentially, we have a duty and a responsibility to make sure that they are protected. And this will be done. This will be done. We have the framework that is already in place to do that. For instance, issues of protection, there is another section that is is called the Victims and Witnesses Unit. Their only responsibility is to ensure that victims and witnesses are protected when they interact with the court and give information. So that will be done. You asked about sorry.
مكتب المدعي العام وما يسمى بقلم المحكمة، وهو يسمى الريجستري، قلم المحكمة والقضاء، كلهم يعملون على حماية الشهود الذين يدلون بإفاداتهم، وأيضا الحفاظ على سرية هذه الإفادات. هنالك إطار قانوني يتم تطبيقه في هذا الشأن، وهناك قسم مختص بحماية الشهود.
You asked about Omar al-Bashir. He is one of those people who've been indicted by the ICC. And as I have explained, the engagement that we are doing with the government is to ensure that those who are wanted by the ICC are transferred to the ICC. And I think I've explained already that we are starting with Harun for the reasons I've already given. But that doesn't mean that we don't want the others. No, it's just that it started, the engagement has started, but those who already have warrants of arrest issued against them by the ICC, what we are engaged with the government at the moment is to have those individuals transferred to the ICC.
كما تعلمين فإن عمر البشير هو أحد أولئك الذين وجهت إليهم تهم، وبالتالي هو أحد المطلوبين، ولقد ظللنا نتفاوض مع الحكومة السودانية بشأن تسليم كل المطلوبين، ولكن كما ذكرت لكم من قبل هنالك أسباب دعتنا إلى أن نبدأ بأحمد هارون، ولكن عمر البشير ليس استثناء، هو ضمن المطلوبين.
If Sudan is also saying that they want to try Omar al-Bashir here in Sudan, they also have to demonstrate concretely that this is possible for it to happen in Sudan before. Yeah. Well, I don't know what is in their mind, so I cannot say whether it's a mixed chord, but the fact of the matter is that we have worked in this situation. We have asked warrants of arrest to issue. Warrants have issued. They have been pending for so long. And now our mission is to insist that the government of Sudan will surrender the persons that we have requested for. If they want to look into issues of complementarity, of course it's a matter that has to be thoroughly discussed, and we make sure that we are following what the statute says, even if it's an issue of complementarity.
إذا أراد السودان أن يحاكم عمر البشير هنا على الأراضي السودانية فعليه أن يثبت أنه راغب وقادر على محاكمة عمر البشير. أنا لا أعرف ما يدور في أذهان الناس، ولكن ما أستطيع قوله أننا قد أصدرنا أوامر قبض لم تنفذ لزمن طويل جدا، ولكن إذا أرادت الحكومة أن تحاكم فهناك مبدأ يسمى مبدأ التكاملية. إذا أرادت أن تفعل ذلك فإننا سننخرط في مفاوضات معهم، وإذا بدأوا في محاكمته هنا سنظل متابعين للأمر.
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm good.
Bnsoda.
Yes.
Welcome to Khartoum, Sudan. It's nice to have you here.
Thank you.
Regarding the same questions that have just been asked of you regarding ex-President Omar Bashir, the general sentiment or the main sentiment here in Sudan is that his trial needs to be a hasty one, since two of the people that he's been involved with are already supposed to be tried. One of them is with you right now, and you're asking for the gentleman to be there also. You also mentioned about a hybrid court that could be where you can come and basically get to be tried here, like a mixed.
Did I mention it?
No?
I did not mention that.
No, the gentleman here was saying about
never mention
Hybrid court.
أنا تكريم حاجة في أي محكمة هجي.
So is he going to be tried here in Sudan or the ICC? Because honestly, the word here, the gentlemen, and the people here in Sudan are always asking this question.
Yes.
Why is it taking so long?
Okay, let me try to again clarify. We have investigated in this situation in Darfur. This situation was referred to the ICC by the UN Security Council, and Darfur was specifically referred to the ICC to investigate, because UN Security Council can't do that. So notwithstanding that Sudan was not even part of the ICC, the UN Security Council has the mandate and has the authority to be able to refer situations to the ICC. Over the years, since this referral took place, I think it was in 2005, if I'm not mistaken, we have been investigating. We have been investigating in the situation, and we have issued quite a few warrants of arrest based on our own investigations, independent investigations. We have issued warrants. Those warrants, one of them is against President al-Bashir, former President al-Bashir. And the warrants have not been cancelled. They're still there. They're waiting to be executed. We have never had the opportunity to even engage directly with the Sudanese government and discuss the warrants, because you know what happened. We had there was total refusal of cooperation. So the opportunity we have today to discuss the cases was not there before. So we are engaged with the current government about this, and of course we are expressing that the warrants that have been issued have not been cancelled. And for us, what we ask for is that the warrants be executed and the persons wanted be taken to The Hague. If the government have a different view or they have a different idea, this is a matter that has to be discussed. If there is a trial that they want to take place in this in Sudan, instead of the ICC, the conditionalities that have been laid down in the Rome Statute has to be met before that can happen. So we don't know what kind of formula the government wants to take for trial to take place. But as far as we are concerned, we've investigated, we have charged, the warrants of arrest still exist, and we are asking that the warrants be executed and the persons wanted be transferred to the ICC.
Thank you for that. Thank you for the translation.
I am so sorry.
Is it possible? I can translate.
Yes, it's possible. I just wanted to say thank you at the end. Thank you very much. And I'm sorry for mixing up about the Irish board.
No, it's fine.
I apologize.
Yes, it's fine.
الكلام الدال عن انه ان هذه القضيه احيلت الى المحكمه الجنائيه الدوليه بواسطه مجلس الامن، لان مجلس الامن لديه السلطه ولديه الصلاحيه لان يحيل القضايا، رغم انه السودان ليس موقعا على اتفاق روما. الحاله تمت في عام 2005 ونحن من جانبنا بدأنا في التحقيقات وأصدرنا أوامر قبض، ومن ضمن المطلوبين هو عمر البشير، ومحكمتنا لم تلغي أوامر القبض، ما زالت سارية المفعول. إذا أرادت الحكومة الحالية أن تحاكم عمر البشير والآخرين على الأراضي السودانية فعليها أن تفعل ذلك وتثبت أنها قادرة على أن تفعل ذلك. ولكن أنا لا أدري ما هي الفكرة الموجودة للحكومة السودانية وما هي الصيغة التي ستتم بها هذه المحاكمة. ولكن على أي حال نحن قمنا بمجهوداتنا التي تلينا وقمنا بتحقيقات مستقلة وأصدرنا أوامر الضبط وننتظر أن تنفذ أوامر الضبط.
And again, you have to remember, I said it when I first started, that it is clear that the victims of these crimes also want. I think in any discussions that is going to take place, that issue cannot be disregarded.
هناك نقطة أود أن أوضحها، أن الضحايا يريدون أيضا تسليم البشير إلى المحكمة الجنائية الدولية، وهذه نقطة يجب أن لا نغفلها.
Hi, I'm Khalid Abdelaziz. I'm from Reuters News Agency. Especially about the case of Ahmed Harun. Did you receive, during your discussion here in Khartoum, do you receive any positive reaction from governmental officials?
خلال تواجدك هنا في الخرطوم، هل لمست أي ردود فعل إيجابية تجاه تسليم أحمد هارون؟
As I said also earlier on, the discussions that I have had with authorities have been positive, has been actually quite constructive, and I have not had any of them tell me that they are against the transfer of Ahmed Haroon to the ICC. But of course, there must be discussions that will take place amongst them. And that is what is going on right now.
خلال مفاوضاتي مع كل الحكومة السودانية، أفراد الحكومة السودانية، كما ذكرت من قبل، فإن تلك المفاوضات كانت بناءة ولم ألمس اعتراضا من أي فرد من أفراد الحكومة السودانية ضد تسليم أحمد هارون، ولكن كما ذكرت لك فإن المفاوضات ما زالت جارية في هذا الشأن.
Thank you very much. You have repeatedly mentioned that the ICC will continue to seek cooperation from Sudanese government on surrendering all persons wanted by ICC. Do you have a deadline for seeing all those people suspected before the Hague? As you know that you are going to leave office within 2 weeks or so, if I'm not mistaken. And now people asking about when they want to see them, not how.
Yes.
تكلمت مرارا وتكرارا عن تسليم المتهم هل هنالك موعد نهائي ضربتموه لتسليم هؤلاء الناس، وخاصة أنك سوف تغادرين منصبك في غضون أقل من أسبوعين؟
I don't think that we have to just continue with these cases forever and negotiating and discussing. This must have a limit. And if you just start with the example of Ahmed Haroon, which I took time to explain, the judges of, who were hearing the confirmation of charges should give their decision by the end of July as to whether the charges have been confirmed or not. But we are confident that what we have presented to the judges, we believe that the charges will be confirmed. So this is the window of opportunity, for instance, that we have with respect to Haroon. Surrender before the end of July is critically important, because if we want the judges to wait for the trial, two trials to take place, we also have to do a confirmation of charges of Ahmed Haroon, and then to be able to join them, make it a joint trial. So in all of these cases, I mean, it's probably technical for me to go into all the details, but simply put, this is a window that we have been impressing upon them, that it is important that we use this window to ensure that a surrender take place. With respect to the rest, the engagement continues, but as I said, it's not forever. As for me going, yes, indeed, I think I have about 2 weeks before I leave my post as a prosecutor of the ICC. But as you can see, already another prosecutor has been elected by the Assembly of States Parties, who is taking over from me, who will continue the work of the ICC. We all are transient. We come and we go. The institution is here and it is permanent, and the work of the institution will go on.
كما يعني المحكمة لا يمكن أو هذا التحقيق لا يمكن أن يستمر إلى الأبد، لابد أن يكون هنالك موعد نهاية أو حد لهذا الأمر. بالنسبة لأحمد هارون، من المهم جدا أن يتم تسليمه قبل يوليو كما يقول القضاء، لأن محكمة جولاي يوليو قبل يوليو، هذا ما ذكره القضاء، لأن إقرار التهم أو الفترة المسموح بها لإقرار التهم ستتم قبل يوليو، وبالتالي لا بد أن يسلم قبل يوليو حتى تنضم قضيته إلى قضية علي كوشير. أما بالنسبة لبقية المتهمين أو المطلوبين فإننا سنعمل على هذا الأمر من بعد أن يعني نتعامل مع أحمد هارون. بالنسبة لمتبقي من فترتي، أنا ولايتي ستنقضي في أسبوعين، ولكن خليفتي قد تم انتخابه وهو سيعمل أيضا، سيستمر في العمل في هذه القضية.
Welcome Bnsoda in your second home.
Thank you.
السودان.
Thank you.
نزار البغداوي، التلفزيون العربي. حسب إفادات سابقة لضحايا الحرب في دارفور، فإن الحكومة السودانية السابقة أو نظام الإنقاذ لم يكن وحده من اشترك في جرائم الحرب. هنالك حركات مسلحة، هنالك قيادات مسلحة. بعض هذه القيادات الآن داخل هذه الحكومة هم من اشتركوا أيضا في هذه الجرائم. ما هي آلية التعامل للمحكمة الجنائية مع هؤلاء؟ شكرا.
Thank you. According to the statements given by victims of those incidents, they mentioned that it is not just the previous government that was responsible for these crimes. There are armed movements and there are some leaders. What is the mechanism that the ICC will use to deal with this situation?
One of the information I got during my tour is exactly that crimes are ongoing. And what I have warned is to say that ICC has not stopped working. It has not stopped looking at the situation. It will continue. And I want that those who are committing the crimes must also be careful that there is a possibility, as I said earlier on, that we will continue to look into those crimes. And if they think, those perpetrating the crimes, if they think that there is no chance of investigating them or holding them accountable, they better think again. Because as you have seen, this situation has taken long, to the extent that many people were discouraged and say we should stop because nothing is going to come out of it. But here we are today. So this is for really perpetrators and would-be perpetrators to have in mind that there is the high possibility that investigations into whatever crimes they perpetrated will be looked into, or they perpetrate, sorry.
من المعلومات التي تلقيتها هنا أن الجرائم ما زالت مستمرة، ولكن دعوني أقول لكم أن التحقيق أيضا ما زال مستمرا ولم يتوقف. سنستمر في التحقيق في الجرائم، كل الجرائم التي تحدث، وعلى الذين يرتكبون تلك الجرائم أن يعرفوا أن هنالك تحقيقا، والدليل على ذلك أن هذه الجرائم تطاول عليها الزمن ولكن ما زلت فتحنا فيها تحقيق وهنالك نتائج بشأنها. وتطاول الزمن لدرجة أن بعض الناس قد يئسوا من تحقيق العدالة، ولكنها نحن نواصل في هذا الأمر. وبالتالي على هؤلاء المجرمين الذين يرتكبون تلك الجرائم إن ظنوا أنهم سيفلتون من العقاب عليهم أن يفكروا مرة أخرى.
أسأل عن مطالبة عدد من الأوروبيين بتسليم 30 شخصية إسرائيلية للمحكمة الدولية في حرب غزة أو في الحرب على غزة وعلى فلسطين في الانتهاكات الأخيرة. هل هذا يعتبر منهجا جديدا للمحكمة الجنائية الدولية مع القضية الفلسطينية؟
Some people have called for, or some Europeans have called for the arrest and the transfer of 30 Israeli persons who were involved in the latest Gaza incident. Is this a new trend on the part of ICC?
But you said some European countries. European countries are not ICC.
ذكرت أنت أن هؤلاء أوروبيين لا يعني أن الأوروبيين هم المحكمة الجنائية.
I do not think that you have heard ICC calling for any arrest now. I don't think so. In fact, not think so. I know it hasn't happened. But maybe just to yeah, sorry.
هذا الأمر لم يحدث ولم نسمع عن مطالبة أي جهة ما للمحكمة الجنائية الدولية ولم نسمع باعتقالاتها.
ICC does have a case in which we have opened investigations into the situation in Palestine. This is a case that was before me, before my office, which we have now said that we have to investigate into that situation. So investigations have opened even before the recent events.
نعم هناك قضية مفتوحة وهي هذه القضية ينظر فيها مكتبي وهنالك تحقيقات تجري بشأنها وهذه القضية فتحت حتى قبل الأحداث الأخيرة.
تسليم المتهمين كان قبل قيام ثورة ديسمبر، مما يعني أن القضاء السوداني كان ليس بمقدوره محاكمة المتهمين. بعد سقوط الثورة هل ما زال القضاء السوداني عاجز أيضا عن محاكمة المتهمين؟ وما هي رؤية المحكمة الجنائية الدولية للقضاء السوداني في محاكمة المتهمين؟ شكرا.
The issue of the surrender arose even before the revolution, and after the revolution, do you think that the Sudanese judicial system is unable to try these suspects here? So,
again, let me clarify. the ICC does not look into the competence or the we don't look at the judicial system of any country. Generally, that's not our work. That's not what we do. Whatever we do with respect to the judiciary is in the context of the cases that we have. So if we are looking at the issue of complementarity, for instance, is Sudan going to do it? We have to look at whatever Sudan is doing, that they are looking at the same conduct that we have charged. They are looking at the crimes. They are looking at that particular individual, and that they are trying to address those crimes that we've already charged. This is how we assess, but not to look at the entire judicial system and then start saying this is not good or that is not good. That is not our role.
دورنا نحن في المحكمة الجنائية دورنا لا ينطوي على تقييم الحكم القضائية. نحن نقيم النظام القضائي بمدى تطبيقه لمبدأ تكاملية الولايات القضائية. مثلا المحاكم يجب أن تنظر إلى نفس السلوك الإجرامي، نفس الجرائم الذي ونفس الجرائم. فهذه هي الأسس التي نقيم بها إن كان القضاء قادرا على تحقيق العدالة ومحاولة تناسلها أم لا. ولكن بصورة عامة لا نقيم أي نظام قضائي لأي دولة.
السلام عليكم ومرحبا بك في السودان. قصيم الدين صحيح الضمير. نحن عادة بنسأل كثير في أسئلة مفروض الحكومة السودانية تجاوبنا على صحفي سوداني، نثق في إنك تجاوبين أكثر من الحكومة السودانية.
We usually pose questions that the Sudanese government should be answering actually, but with just that you can give us satisfactory answers to these questions.
كمثال مع المفاوضات الدائرة بينكم والحكومة السودانية، نحن ما بنعرف التفاصيل بتاعتها إلا بإنك أنت في المرة الأولى جيتي فيها ودلوقتي المرة الثانية، فما عندنا معلومات كافية من الحكومة السودانية حول ما يجب أن تفعله وكيف يدير هذا التفاصيل.
Example is that in the first visit you engaged the Sudanese government in discussions, but we actually don't know the results of these discussions and what their intent is, what their intention is. In brief, they don't talk to us.
طيب احنا عايزين نعرف العقبات اللي انت بتشيري لها دائما هي شنو بالتفصيل؟ كصحافة من حقنا نعرف ما هي هذه العقبات. واحد.
As journalists, we are entitled to knowing the obstacles to this case, so we need to know the obstacles.
اثنين عايزين نعرف ما هو حق المتهمين أنفسهم في أن يصلوا أمام المحكمة الجنائية.
What is the right granted to the suspects themselves in appearing before ICC?
رشحت في الأخبار إنه البشير والمتهمون الاثنين بيطالبوا بأنه يسلموا للجنائية. فهل الحكومة السودانية من حقها ترفض تسليم المتهمين لأنفسهم؟
It has transpired that both Umar al-Bashir and Ahmad Harun really wish to be tried before ICC. Is it the right of the Sudanese government? Is the Sudanese government entitled to say no, to object to this demand or request?
أخيرا هل التقيت بالمتهمين؟ هل سمح لك أو طلبتي أم لم يسمح لك؟
Did you ask to meet any of the suspects, or were you allowed to meet any of these suspects?
I think first I will answer that question last. I did not ask because at the moment what is important is that those who normally have the authority and the obligation to surrender them are the ones that I should be speaking to, and that is what I am doing.
أنا لم أقل أن المسؤولية الأساسية تقع على هؤلاء الناس الذين أنا أتحدث معهم.
You say that they are not speaking with you. Unfortunately, I cannot control that. But I am speaking with you.
أنت ذكرت أن الحكومة لا تتحدث إلى الصحافة ولكن أنا الآن أتحدث إليكم.
And what I can tell you is, for me and for my office, what we have really been expressing all the time is we have to have the cooperation. We have to be able to access the territory. We have to be able to speak with the authorities. And this is what we were engaged in. It's all the process that we have to go through. And I can tell you today that when it comes to access to the territory, we are here. We are here, and my investigators are going to be here. And in fact, they do come. And they will be going all the way to Darfur. So that is one thing that we have concretely achieved with the government.
بالنسبة إلي أنا شخصيا وبالنسبة إلى مكتب المدعي العامة المهم بالنسبة إلينا هو تعاون الحكومة وحتى الآن استطعنا أن نزور المناطق التي يجب أن نزورها وأن نتحدث إلى السلطات وفي كل الإجراءات الممكنة وها نحن هنا وقد ذهبنا إلى دارفور وهذا موضوع مهم بالنسبة إلينا.
Another thing is just my visit to Darfur. I think this is also a concrete example that the government has facilitated for me to be able to go to Darfur and be able to speak with the affected communities. Previously, as I said, I could not even come to Sudan, much more to go to Darfur.
مثال على هذا التعاون فإن الحكومة قد سهلت زيارتي إلى دارفور وفي هذه الزيارة استطعت أن أتحدث مع المتأثرين بتلك الأحداث ولكن في السابق السلطات كانت تمانع في زيارتي إلى السودان ناهيك عن دارفور.
Again, I have been able, my office has been able to conclude a memorandum of understanding signed between us and the government in relation to our work, our investigations and prosecutions of Ali Kuchek.
وحتى أننا استطعنا أن نوقع مذكرة تفاهم مع الحكومة فيما يتعلق بالتحقيق في مسألة علي كوشيك.
In which they have pledged to cooperate fully with my office.
التزموا في هذه المذكرة بالتعاون الكامل مع مكتبي.
So these are just a few examples to show you that step by step we are moving. I don't think everything can happen at once, but at least step by step we are moving in this cooperation. And as I told you, the response has been constructive and have not yet received any no, we cannot do this, please go away. It hasn't happened.
كما قلت لكم فإن الأمر يسير خطوة بخطوة نحن نسير في الاتجاه الصحيح في شأن هذا التعاون بالنسبة إلينا وقد لبثت كما ذكرت من قبل استجابة بناءة وحتى الآن لم نقابل بأي رفض لم يحدث أن رفض أي شخص أي شيء.
Again, you asked about the rights of the suspect. This is something that I can tell you ICC respects very much, and it is in our statute on how we proceed with the rights of the suspects.
أنت تحدثت عن حقوق المتهمين ونحن نحترم حقوق المتهمين وهذا الأمر وارد في النظام الأساسي لتكوين المحكمة الجنائية.
First and foremost, there is the presumption of innocence. A person is presumed innocent until proven guilty.
هناك افتراض البراءة كل شخص بريء حتى تثبت إدانته.
And secondly, for instance, they have a right to a lawyer. If they can't afford a lawyer, they will take the lawyer of their choice. If they cannot afford a lawyer, the ICC will provide a lawyer for them.
ثانيا من حق المتهمين أن يعينوا محامين للدفاع عنهم وإن كانوا لا يستطيعون تعيين محامي فإن المحكمة الجنائية ستتولى تعيين محامي للدفاع عنهم.
And as you know, there are so many rights, due process rights, which in most criminal jurisdictions you find it, like if you don't want to speak, you don't speak. If you want, you can speak. If you want to say plead guilty, you can do that. If you don't want to, so all of that is guaranteed under the Rome Statute, and we make sure that the facilities that facilities are made available to you to support you in your defense.
هذه الحقوق أيضا يعني من بينها حق الدفاع كما ذكرت، وأيضا لابد يعني نوفر محاكمة عادلة لكل المتهمين. هذا الأمر معمول به في كل الاختصاصات والولايات القضائية. الشخص له الحق في أن يدفع بأنه مذنب أو أنه بريء، ونحن من جانبنا نقدم كل التسهيلات الممكنة لكي يدافع الشخص عن نفسه ولكي نوفر محاكمة عادلة له.
Thank you. You insist on your third question. All right.
أنا بس أريد أن أوضح السؤال الذي سأله زميلي محمد عمر. طالب عدد من المسؤولين الأوروبيين السابقين بأن تحقق المحكمة الجنائية الدولية بالأحداث التي جرت مؤخرا في غزة ومات عدد كبير من الضحايا في غزة داخل إسرائيل. هل ستنظرون في هذا الأمر أحداث غزة؟ وهل يمثل هذا تطور جديد في علاقة المحكمة الدولية وتعاطيها مع الأحداث في الأراضي الفلسطينية وفي إسرائيل؟ شكرا جزيلا.
This is a clarification. Actually, it is a question to clarify the question posed by my colleague Ahmed Umar. He said many European officials demanded that
official and non-official.
Officials and non-officials.
Yeah.
Okay, demanded that there should be investigation into the incidents in Gaza because many victims lost their life. Will you consider that investigation?
First and foremost, I wanted to be clear that as prosecutor of the ICC, I conduct my work independently. Impartially, I do not take instructions from anybody except the Rome Statute. That is where I get, so if it is the decision of, as I said, some Europeans, non-Europeans, to say they are conducting an investigation, this is not an ICC process. I want it to be clear. We already have opened investigations into the situation. So what I did when these events, when these events were happening, I made a statement. If you go look into the archives, you will find it. I made a statement warning that investigations into the situation in Gaza is opened, in Palestine is opened, and that we continue to monitor the situation, and that those, and on both sides, I said those who are committing crimes should be aware that the ICC investigations have opened, and there is, again, we will look into what is happening currently. We are monitoring it, and we will look into whether these are matters that will form part of our investigations. This I have already said, it is in the public domain.
نعم، نحن لا نأخذ تعليماتنا من أي شخص آخر. هذه ليست الطريقة التي تعمل بها المحكمة الجنائية الدولية. أنا أخذ تعليماتي من النظام الأساسي. نحن كل أفعالنا مؤسسة على النظام الأساسي. فما فعلته هو أنني أتيت بتصريح قبل ذلك، ويمكنك أن تتحصل على هذا التصريح أن هنالك تحقيقا مفتوحا في شأن غزة، وأن كل من يرتكب جريمة من الجانبين يجب أن يقدم إلى المحاكمة. هذا ما صرحت به، وأننا سنظل نراقب الوضع. هذا في غزة.
Thank you very much.
شكرا جزيلا.
Good master.